Hello and welcome. Lanita Ellis, the Scrappy Grandma here, and this is my Living in the Way. Man, I actually I sat down last week and did a Living in the Way and then didn't record it. So I wasn't able to share it. I got a transcript for it, but I didn't record it. So I was like, oh, guess it wasn't meant to happen. So this week, I just literally I got up, ran down to Fresno, went to a physical therapy appointment and to the IRS. I have to do my dad's 2025 taxes, and I don't have any of his paperwork, his 1099. Okay, sorry. Got a message there. So let's see what has been going on and off, people, family being sick. Rusty, I finally am coming back around and feeling pretty decent. Rusty's still feeling pretty puny. My son-in-law, Brett, he's not feeling great at all. The kids off and on. And I'm 21 days from going to Israel and I cannot get sick. Father Yah, please cover me, protect me, and keep every German bug away from me so that I am completely well for my trip to Israel. Because, yeah, I cannot make that trip sick at all. So I've been trying a bunch of different things. I got connected with the pain clinic with Kaiser, which is a big medical company here in California with doctors and everything. And they had me trying. So I've gone over with the ketamine. Um, Last week they had me try acupuncture. I go again on Friday. Today I went to physical therapy. I've got a couple different physical therapies, one for pelvic health and the adhesions and everything that I have inside of my abdomen. And then the others for spine, neck pain, spine and back. And we're just trying to figure out, she's like, what are your goals? She goes, what would you do differently? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I would do anything different. I love what I do. And she's like, well, what do you do? And it's like, well, at least one day a week, if not a few. I've got four of my grandchildren with me and I'm lifting. And like yesterday, we were in the pool and and it's been, well, like today, I was just down in Fresno. It was 108. It was hot. And so yesterday we were in the pool and I'm catching them as they're jumping in and um, lifting them up and, doing all kinds of picking up toddlers and then I, told her I do homesteading things. So like I basically, I'm right now, if I didn't have this um, microphone on, you would be able to hear I've got the freeze dryers going, the dehydrators going, my crock pots going, my Instapots going, and that's it currently. I have been, my daughter's helping me, which is just such an answered prayer. And she is just helping me get things taken care of. And one of them is I needed to make room in my freezer. And I have one whole freezer. It's the top part of a refrigerator that's all stuff like stuff to make like chicken roosters and stuff that weren't food quality for humans, but great for dog food. Bone broth. I've got chicken legs. I have so many bags of chicken legs, chicken feet from chickens we've processed. So for the past week, I've got to get another round started. So it starts, I put all the chicken feet in the Instapot, put in a lot of my discarded vegetables, like the stuff I cut off on the onions and the garlic and the tops of the carrots and celery and all the things that, you don't use gets thrown into a bag in the freezer. And then I throw that all into the bone broth. And I put in some apple cider vinegar, which helps extract the collagen out of the bones. And then salt and pepper. And then I run it in the Instapot and it goes for like 3 hours on the pressure setting. And then once that's done, I let it cool. Then I transfer it to the trays of the for the freeze dryer. And I have a spot out in my other freezer where I put those trays out to freeze, and then they get rotated into the freeze dryer. And so it's just been a cycle. And then once they're done in the freeze dryer, I put them in Mylar bags, seal them with an oxygen absorber, and they'll be good for like 25 years. And it's powder, so you just use a couple tablespoons of powder with some water, and you've got chicken bone broth with all of the nutrients and all of the collagen and all the good stuff in it. My pomegranate tree, what a blessing. Um, my mom gave me a pomegranate tree several years ago. Like the first year, nothing. The second year, I got like three pomegranates on it, and two of them the birds had poked holes in and eaten all the seeds out. So I got one. Last year, I got about five, and this year, over 100. It was so heavy. All of the branches were laying down from the weight of the pomegranates. And so Lacey came over and she looked up a great, and it's fast and easy. You just cut them around instead of across, and they just pop out. All the seeds pop out. So we made pomegranate juice, and then we juiced them, put them in the blender, and then put it through a cheesecloth. And then all of the pulp and seeds that were left over and all of the skins I put in the dehydrator. I dehydrate them and make them for tea because they still are filled with nutrients and vitamins and minerals and everything that are, and a flavor, nice flavor for tea. So I've got that going. Then yesterday we started beef tallow. My local butcher at our local store, he saves, or when he cuts off grass-fed, hormone antibiotic-free beef, he cuts the fat off. He saves it for me, and then I go pick it up and make. And then my dad also saves when he'll buy a whole ribeye roast, and then he'll carve it up into the ribeyes and the ribs. And a lot of times they gift us the ribeyes and the ribs and the fat. And so we make tallow. So I've been rendering tallow. So the kitchen is in full force right now. And I didn't think it would be this year because I didn't do a garden. I didn't raise chickens. I didn't do a lot of those things because with my dad and everything, it was just too much this year. But I'm still able to process some things. And so I've got the swamp cooler going too, since it's super hot. And so there's lots of noise going on. Everything's humming, buzzing in the house today and for the past week. So in Torah portions, just, we're like 7 weeks away from the end of and starting the new cycle, which is beautiful. We are in Raheh, which is sea, and it's Moses talking to the new generation that's going to be entering in the promised land, just basically going over all of the commandments, the instructions for when they enter the land. And we are entering the month of Elul next week. And the month of Elul is the month before the feasts start. And it's a month of introspection and processing and, really laying things out before the Most High of, is this an idol? Is this something you want in my life? Is this something that I need to get rid of? And searching out the things in your heart of where your heart might not be fully aligned with his purpose. And so we're getting ready to start that. There's the month of Elul, which is 30 days, and then there's the 10 days of awe. And it's basically preparing our hearts for the upcoming fall feasts so that we are in a place of a repentance. We're just deep repentance of getting rid of what doesn't serve us and what doesn't glorify him. And so that's going to be interesting to get started with looking forward to it. It starts on the new moon, which is, I think, next Wednesday. I have a new moon call. So, and I wanted to put out there, if you are not yet in our women's Bible study group, um, the cycle's starting over again. We'll be starting in Genesis 1:1. The cycle runs every year. This is the oldest Bible study. Jesus, his disciples, every Jewish person that wants to has been doing these portions for thousands of years. And basically, how I explain them is it's small. It breaks the first five books of the Bible up, which are the instructions, the Torah, the instructions given to Moses to give to the people. It breaks them all up. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. It breaks it up to weekly small chunks that you can chew on and digest and row. And then the next week, there's another portion that, and it's just a lovely progression and it ties in. It's a beautiful cycle. There's one of the things on my Torah portion that I had said, it's just this beautiful cycle um, of flow. And it's so hard to explain, but so beautiful. It's like when you're walking in the way, you walk in peace and security and blessing. And even though bad things happen, you're still covered and you feel protected and safe and knowing that you're walking in your purpose of what he created you for. So um he's just got a beautiful rhythm with everything, with the portions. They tie into the feasts. Ah, it's just amazing. And there's just, and the portions and like his instructions, the law, as the English Bible has put it into calling it the law, but they're his instructions. It's not this big, ugly, you're under the law. You have to, mind your P's and Q's and behave yourself and do all these things perfectly and stuff. It's like, no, you're human. These are your instructions. Practice them, get good at them, do the best you can. And as you do, you learn the Most High's nature and you're able to walk in covenant with him. And it's just the most beautiful journey. So if you're not in our women's Bible study, I highly recommend it. We have two calls on Thursday. We have an afternoon call, and we have an evening call for those that can't make one or the other. There's other things we have, and we're starting a book club. We have Monday morning prayer. Um, they have a fellowship time on Wednesdays. Book club's going to be on Tuesdays. They also are going through, it's like an 80 portion, so it's like 80 weeks, and they're going to take a break through the holy days. Um, but it is basically looking at things through a Hebraic, Near East ancient Near East lens. So basically, who the Bible was written to, that audience, how they would have perceived what was being said to them, much different than what we Western Americans think it means. We have no point of reference. And especially if you haven't really studied out the Torah, the first five books of the Bible, once you have, then all of a sudden all the dots start connecting and everything starts making sense. So, and that's what we do. During the week, the portion comes out, we read it and chew on it and digest it and meditate on it. And then on Thursdays, we get together online and we go over what the Father revealed to us. And it's just so beautiful to see each person's perspective. Myself, I'm usually like very much on the practical life end of like, I didn't realize that they carried Joseph's bones around for those full 40 years in the wilderness before they took them into the promised land, like they promised that they would do. So I'm all, and then my girlfriend Angelina, who leads the afternoon call, she's always, honing in on all the spiritual aspects of where it ties into Messiah and all the spiritual parts of it, which is just mind blowing and way beyond my brain. Um, And then I head up the evening call for those that can't make the afternoon call. And it's usually about an hour and a half, the calls are. And I tell you, it's just to grow, one, to grow in information and knowledge and understanding of his word, and grow in understanding and knowledge of him, and then to forge and develop these relationships with these women from all around the country that just have a heart to love and serve him and others. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So if you are craving fellowship that is meaningful, and we don't tolerate ugliness, it's not tolerated. And so there's no backbiting, and there's no gossip, and there's no icky that women's groups usually have in them, unfortunately. It's just beautiful women walking out life as with Jesus as their example and doing what would Jesus do? That's what we want to do. So anyway, um, let's see what else is going on. The kids are around a lot, which is awesome. My daughter's around a lot, which is awesome. Um, my mom's doing well, much better. She's getting out and about with her scooter. Um, let's see. My son, on the other side of the country, I miss him terribly, his family. In fact, I need to get a hold of my daughter-in-law, Courtney. She's called me a couple times, and I've just been swamped the past couple of days, so I got to give her a call. But both kids are going to be in dance this next year. My two grandchildren that live out in Maryland, they're going to be in dance this next year. So they're getting all geared up for that. Um, yeah, life has been had its challenges, but it's been blessed. Still dealing with a lot of stuff with my dad. Like I said, I had to go down to the IRS today and get some paperwork, and then I have to make an appointment and go back so that I can do his 2025 taxes. You don't realize, I never knew that you have to, the next of kin has to do the taxes for the person that died. And so I have a hard time doing my own taxes, much less someone else's taxes that I don't have any information. The 1099s were never forwarded to this last address of his, so he never got them. And so I'm having trouble getting all that stuff done. And I have to get my own taxes done because, yeah, I haven't done them either. I usually get my taxes done around October, right before the extension is due. Um, because yeah, I just hate doing taxes. They're a lot easier now than they used to be because I'm pretty much retired, semi mostly retired, but I still dabble a little bit here and there with coaching and things like that and weight loss. But not much. But anyway, I think that's it. I don't want to ramble, but I do want, the good parts of he's so good. He provides everything we need, and he is always on time. I have friends who are concerned about me going to Israel because of the climate of the world right now, and I have no fear whatsoever. I'm completely comfortable, and I know that he ordained this, he set it up, he's provided for it, so he will make it happen. And the only thing that'll stop me from going is if they cancel our flights. And preferably that won't happen. And so, yep, 21 days. I start my journey. That will be fun once I start that. I think I'm going to take my computer so that I can record my tour. I've really got to pray about it because I don't want to carry a bunch of stuff over to Israel. And actually, maybe I'll do them ahead of time, the Torah portion, the recordings, and have them scheduled to come out because I don't know that I'll actually get them done over there. But boy, when I get back, these walking in the way prayerfully there'll be a lot to share about that trip. I can only imagine. My brain is I'm just amazed and overwhelmed with thankfulness and gratitude, the fact that I'm going to be able to go to Jerusalem and the Dead Sea and see all the things and walk where Jesus walked. And yeah. So anyway, I think that covers it. I know I had all kinds of stuff I shared last week, but I can't remember any of it. So new week, new thing. I think I shared about the acupuncture. It helped for a day, and then my headaches were back. So we're just, oh, as I started to say, the physical therapist, she's like, what are your goals? What is it that you would like to accomplish? Is there something that you can't do now that you'd want to do? And I'm like, no, I pretty much would keep my life the same. It would just be nice to live with a pain level of 2 instead of a pain level of 8 and 9 every day. I would just like to be able to not, or the inconsistency of waking up one morning and being in so much pain I can't function for the day, which is less and less now. My neck collar, neck braces helps a lot. I sleep with it at night, and I've only think since I started that a month ago, I've only gotten 2 headaches. So, and they've not come on in the middle of the night, which is usually when they come. Now I'm starting to get one a little bit today, but that's because I've been running around and driving and I haven't been in my brace. My back brace helps immensely. I also ended up getting an SI one for my hips. And I just like, I've got all these silly braces, but if they work, they work. And so they just help to keep everything in so my muscles can take a break because my muscles are constantly guarding and holding on to my bones and holding me all together. And then when I put the braces on, they're like, they can relax. So um, I'm going to end this because I've got to go see how my tallows turning out in the refrigerator. I've got to pour a bunch of bone broth onto trays to put them in the freezer. So I got a gazillion things to do. And I think Lacey's coming over with the kids again tomorrow. So um, it's been an awesome summer, awesome summer. Even with getting sick and having pain and all the things, it's still been an awesome summer. So I hope everything's blessed on your end. If you have any prayer requests, anything that I can pray for you, please share it with me. If you have any questions, let me know. You can reach me personally. You can reach out to me personally or put things in the comments. I don't normally get a whole lot of comments, so sometimes I might miss your comment if you do put one in, but I will try to keep track. And I think that's good for now. So happy Tuesday. Be blessed. And y'all willing, I will be catching up with you again next week. Be blessed. Bye.